had some rain. We had some rain yesterday, good soaking rain. I do not want to get out of bed. It's 45 degrees and wet out there. So, exciting things today. I'm in front of my tent. I've been up since 4:30 because the sky gets light at 4:30. We have a lumber delivery from Bryant's Lumber coming, and that's going to be for the deck and the shower area. And then we have the driveway guys, Herb Clark Excavating, coming up at the same day. So we'll see how this works out. I'm hoping that they don't get in each other's way, because I do need the lumber delivered, and I don't want to carry it all from the bottom of the driveway up. It's a 400-foot long driveway. So we'll see. Fingers crossed everything's going to go well. We have a beautiful day. Let's see if you can see this. It's about 7:30 in the morning, but it is already blue skies and like 43 degrees last night, so it's a little chilly, but it's going to be a beautiful day for working. When I built the original deck last year, I ordered lumber for this addition. It was in the original plans. Unfortunately, I never got around to building it because I ran out of time, but that left us with some lumber that we could start working on, since the lumber delivery from Bryant Lumbers was late. We were supposed to deliver on Monday. It delivered on Wednesday because their supplier for pressure-treated lumber fell through, and they had to find a secondary supplier and then reschedule the delivery. But it all worked out. We had enough lumber to get started, and this is the results. I should add that this is all part of these types of projects. Having lumber deliveries fall through, inclement weather, all sorts of things that stop the build process or force you to do something different. This is just the way these projects go. So you should plan for that. At least plan that you're going to be interrupted at some point, and find ways to use your time productively. Putting these ledges in to hold the 2x8s. Probably would be structurally strong enough just to screw to the outside of them, but it just takes a few more minutes, and it gives you support of the weight of the deck on the pressure treated lumber. So this is still a 4x4. There's still plenty of meat here to screw into, but this means both sides is going to have its bottom supported structurally. Plus, this is how I wrote it up in the permit, so I kind of have to do it this way. But I have consulted with experts. Shout out to Doug Quinn. And this is the absolute right way to do it. So I'm going to do this once. I'm trying to make sure that everything I do here is kind of like heirloom quality. I want my kids to have it for their lives, and their kids to have it for their lives. So if it takes a few extra minutes up front to do a little bit more work or spend a little bit more money to get better materials, we're just going to do it right. Once it's put together, I don't want to take it back apart. And that's pretty good. Take a look. It's not perfect, but it is good enough for a deck in the middle of the woods. This is where we're going to have our 2x8 sit on a ledge just like that. And it'll get bolted through. So this is going to be this front corner right over here. The delayed lumber delivery did have an upside. It meant that the excavation team and the lumber delivery were not going to have to try and share the driveway. This is a quick view of what the driveway looked like before the excavators came in and started clearing it. Pause, please. You can see here in this screenshot how the right side of the driveway, which is the downhill side, is washed out. When I was there in September of last year, that was maybe a 10 or 12 foot section of the driveway. When I arrived there in May of this year, almost the entire driveway was washed out all the way down. So there's definitely been some degradation of the state of the driveway, which makes it even more important to get it fixed while I'm here. Thankfully, spoiler alert, they get it done. Okay, so we have started on the deck addition. See, we got a foot down here, another foot over here with a ledge. There's Matt, getting ready to cut the next post. Got another foot over here with a ledge that this 2x8 is going to sit on. We're going to come out 6 feet. So we're going to start here. We're going to go down 16 feet, 10 feet along the edge of the deck, and then an additional 6 feet. And then we'll go from this corner and we'll meet up there. So this corner will have a shelf, essentially, a step 8 inches high. All right, so this is what we've got done so far. Sorry for the generator noise. We got this corner in. We've got all of the holes cut. Hard to see them. There. From here, right to there, and over there. So the corner will be deckable. And I got my man Morris on the excavator down here, and they are regrading my driveway. So they're going to clear this right here, this ditch on the uphill side going all the way down. He's, I believe, going to dig a trench for a culvert pretty much just behind where that excavator is, and then we'll have 2 water bars to divert the water going down the driveway, because this thing is washed out like crazy. But today and tomorrow they're going to get this done, and by the time they finish we'll have a fresh delivery, because we are running low on wood supplies. Matt and I burned through all of the structural wood that we have. I just got decking boards left. But tomorrow's a new day, and if the wood doesn't get dropped tomorrow, we'll have to do some mountain biking and swimming. Gotta enjoy yourself while you have your life, man. So let's take a minute to review what the original plan was for this that I showed you in my things to come video. You can see that the deck in the plan is almost exactly what we're working on right now. I had to make some minor tweaks. That always happens when you get into the middle of a project where things don't work out. Either the dimensions don't work. In our case, when they delivered the lumber, they didn't have a lot of 16-foot long, or any actually 16-foot long pressure treated decking boards. The longest they had were 12 feet. So we had to come up with a new plan. We had half a dozen or 10 16-foot boards, so we used those on the outside border. The inside edge of the deck was only 10 feet long, so a 12-foot board would fit those. And then in between, where we ran out of 16 feet and had to make do with 12 feet, I tried to mirror the angle of the area where it turned the corner. It'll make sense to you when we get to the point where the deck is half sheathed. You can actually see the step down gradation. Okay, so this morning we spotted and dug the holes, and we're about to get ready to cut and ledge the posts and drop them into place, and then get the framing structure in place. I'm talking over here because the generator is so loud that you're not going to hear me once I walk around the corner, but I'll show you the holes now. These will all have some white marble chip in the bottom to aid in drainage. It's hard scrabble down there, it's clay and hard rocks back. We went until we hit that, and then we pack in some marble chips to allow the water to drain through, to help with hopefully not allowing the deck to sink. And then we'll cover it up with dirt once we get the poles in. And that is what's next. Okay, so we got the hole cleared. We got an inch and a half of marble chips packed down in there. Give it a good solid base. Matt's got the ledge cut. Now we're gonna put the board back up on here, get it level, get it square, and then we'll use that to get the top height of the board. And that top height of the board should be the top of this ledge, because this is a 2x8 ledge. So then we'll be able to actually get the measurement to how deep the board needs to be in the ground so that it sits on here square. And once again here we are bang on, dead level. And Matt needs to just get the square on the corner, and then we'll be able to get our measurement. So we'll measure from the bottom of that to the top of this board, down there to up here, and that gives us the length that we need to cut the 4x4 or 6x6 post. Generator. I'm going to wait for Matt to finish there for a second. So he's knocking off, basically just score it with the circular saw. It's easier to come around this side and get it from, there you go. He's going to knock these down when we get to the ledge. These are very rough surfaces, you can see. And then you get after it with a chisel. Alright, give me a sec. And you get something like this. Still a little bit rough. Not up to Amish timber framing standards, but nice and square. See if I can hold this thing square. There's little variations, but those will draw in. Nice square corner to set our two ledges on. And then everything else are simple ledges like the one that Matt just cut. We got two more, and then we're on to actually framing the deck. I have grown the requisite Amish beard for the chiseling portion of this, so I can do my timber framing.
He is in no way Amish.
I am in no way Amish. Hold on.
Tony's just chiseling out the shelves for this corner post. And the generator's running. It's nice, peaceful work.
I do a stop cut first. This essentially is going to keep the chisel from continuing to dig in. Then I can just clear this. Then as we get down closer, we just have these little nubs. You can lay the chisel flat and you can pare it to clean all of that down and get a nice super flat edge. So the key is to not cut all the way to the line. You cut just a little bit shy of the line, and that gives you room to clean it up and get that nice flat surface. So theoretically, if I take all of these little ridges out, we're going to have nice flat 4x4 on both sides. So here's another thing I learned from all my timber framing research. Framing square gets its name from this. Number one, you've got two legs. The long leg here is 2 inches exactly. The short leg is 1.5 inches. This was my dad's framing square my brother got. And so you can use these to tell how accurate your ledges and stuff are, mortises and tenons especially. But what you can also do is to figure out if your ledge is square, which I can tell this one, it looks sort of square, but it's not really. When I put the square on it, and I line the square up with a factory edge so that that one's tight, I can see there's a gap here. There's a gap here. So how do we make sure that we're getting this exactly level? So I take the square, And take your regular pencil. This is my
Schmancy pencil.
schmancy pencil that I bought for 20 bucks. But I got to tell you, having a pencil on your leg at all times is amazing. And it comes with a sharpener and all. So I'm just putting some carbon on this blade of the leg here. And we're going to flip it over. We're going to line our side up here. And we're just going to run it back and forth. And what you see is it marks all of our high spots for us. And now I know what I need to shave down. While we worked on the deck, they continued to work on the driveway, including bringing up loads of leftover dirt from the uphill side to fill in these trenches that were made when the cabin previously was torn out. These divots out of the ground were a trip hazard, and some of them were quite dangerous, coming up over your ankle. High grass had grown up over them, so it was difficult to see them, and they were right on the path to go to the restroom. So there was always a chance that you could step into a hole in the middle of the night and break your ankle. So I was happy to see these get filled in. I'd later cover these with fresh grass. All right, so now disregard the mess of like plastic bags and all the tools underneath the deck and on the deck, but now you get a feel for the shape of the deck here. Got all the supporting posts in, all the rim joists in, except for the ones in the back, which need to be, I gotta take that step out, but I think we're gonna have some lunch before we do that. Matt did a great job of doing about half of the work on this thing. So we'll have a rim joist that connects underneath to those supporting poles right here and there and over there. And that's what the joist hangers will hang off of. And then we'll have 2x6 joists all the way around and decking boards that are going to run on this side. They're going to run this way to a 45 in this corner, and then from a 45 in this corner that way. So we'll kind of wrap right around. I think it's going to look pretty nice. So we have turned a corner, literally and figuratively. Matt and I are on the last stages of rotating around the corner here, the deck. We're just going to require some decking boards. No upskirts, Matt.
Yeah.
That is what the final state of the deck is going to look like here. So I'm going to get it focused. So dramatically increases the hangout space. Right up here, there's going to be an awning that comes off my tent that's going to cover that entire section of deck. So we'll have a couple of nice covered places to hang out in the rain, as it's raining right now. Just a little bit. I haven't gotten anything serious, but yeah, getting closer, getting excited. After a week of hot and sunny weather, not a cloud in the sky, and no rain, we're just about done with the deck, and we get a day and a half of soaking rain. It's actually kind of nice to be forced to relax and stop for a while and enjoy the property, which is something that I have not been doing. I've been pushing forward hard. Matt calls me an incredible taskmaster, and he's probably right, just because every new piece of building here puts me a little bit closer to having my home in the woods. But today, I think I'm going to have a nice hot cup of tea and a couple of orange donuts and enjoy the chance to sit down and be in the woods. The excavation crew was making good progress until the left-hand track ran out of grease. That caused the track to slip and come off the machine. What do you do when you've got a broken 5, 6, 8, 10-ton machine in the middle of the woods? You fix it yourself with the tools you have on hand.
It was incredible to watch them do this. They used the actual bucket from the excavator, as well as leverage and years of knowledge to slide this track back into place and get back to work. In the end, all the decking boards were added and the deck was mostly complete. I'd come back the last week and add in all the screws to tie these boards down as we just tacked them down with a screw on each end. This is the deck's final form, and I think it came out great.
This is the deck. It is 6 feet in this dimension, 10 feet along the edge that joins to the deck, and then 16 feet out to there and around. So we'll take you on a tour. It's piled up with stuff that has to go up the hill right now. So I can back up to get a good view of it without falling over the edge of the hill. So that's that. Hopefully in October we won't get non-stop rain. But I never did get a chance to put my awning up, partially because it's just me here, and partially because it was just one more piece of wet canvas I was going to have to fold up when I left.
I worked a lot on this trip, and we got a lot accomplished. In the end, on the last day, the excavation crew came and finished up the driveway, so I was able to drive out with the confidence that this place would be ready for me when I came back. The deck wasn't the last project that I worked on, but it was certainly the largest, and I think Matt and I did a great job on it. I'm looking forward to coming back in October and being able to enjoy all the work that we put into this place.